Today we continue our project building Flask app, and today we are redesign the entire application because our application isn't looking good. We just only work Python side. We haven't worked on the styles and the layout of the application. What I did is I worked on redesigning the entire application by using Bootstrap. Bootstrap framework is developed by Twitter, and it is very popular framework, and it makes it very easy to make your website mobile friendly. It makes your website screen reader friendly for those who use screen readers like me. I use screen readers to read computer screen. I use VoiceOver in Apple devices, and I use JAWS in Windows. So I went to Bootstrap website and I clicked the examples link in the nav bar. Show you a lot of different styles and different sample websites that you can build upon. So I chose this style. This is blog style. I essentially right click here. I said view source code and I copied the entire code. Then what I did is I went to my base HTML. I went to my base HTML here and I pasted here. Obviously, I edited the entire file to make sure that it has a Jinja inheritance. It will contain the things that we care about. You also need to add the JavaScript CDN at the bottom. They don't include that. They don't include that in the examples. So the way you can find the latest CDN file, what you would do is you would go to the docs, and here is the latest one. You would copy this script, and you go back to your base.html, and you would replace it whatever script there is, example, and it will work. I also added a couple of things in the base HTML. Here we said, if there is a title, if the user pass a title, then we will have a title. Otherwise, we will just show the title of the domain. We didn't change anything here. Here I added a style, a document. I created a static folder in the app folder. We are working on day 5. Here is the app folder. So I created a static folder, and inside static folder there is 2 subfolders, CSS folder and JS folder. In the CSS folder, we have a styles CSS file. I added some best styles for the user base. You will see that when you open the GitHub source code. So in the base HTML, in order the style to show up your entire website, you have to link it in the head section right here. And you will say URL for static, then you will say file name, then the CSS folder, and styles.css. So we just added the title and we added the style document or file in the head section. Inside the body, we changed the header, our navigation links. We have subscribe here. They already have subscribe, so we didn't actually change anything here. Here we changed the website's name, codelocks.net, and here whenever the user clicks the codelocks.net, it will directly go to the index, to the main index. Here in the login link, we check if the user is logged in. Here, current user is authenticated. If the user is authenticated, then we will go to we'll show logout. If the user is not logged in, we will show register list. So this is the header section. This would be this side. Here we have the subscribe link. Here we have the codelogs.net, and we have here the link, login link. Below header, we have the navigation links. There is a lot of navigation links, and I just added the names. These names could change in the future as our project grows. Here is the about page, which is essentially talks about the entire purpose of the website and all that. Just like I said, all these links could change. Some could be removed or some could be added. It depends on how the project is going. And here at the bottom of the navigation links, we have the profile link, and we only show the profile link if the user is authenticated. If they are not authenticated, we are not going to show them. We're not going to show the profile. It will be behind the login screen. In the main section of the base HTML, we have here the message where the flash message will land. Whenever the user does something, if they post a blog, if they log in, if they log out. Here is where the Flash message would land. Here is where the application will communicate. It will say the login required, please log in. Or you say the user logged out. Or it will say if you post something, a blog is successfully posted. So this would be a Flash message. And it's almost always on top of the content because you want the Flash messages to appear around here underneath the navigation links, but above the content of the page. And here is the typical inheritance. You just put the content here, and all the sub templates will inherit from this. And here is the end of main. Here is the footer. It's just I added the standard all rights reserved, copyright, the year, and I use JS file here in the static folder, in the JS folder. Here we just use a basic, the current year, and just set it. The copyright is reserved from 2025 onward. It's just basic. And here is the basic call of the JavaScript. Here what you see is the index. Whenever here in the at the bottom you see copyright 2025, and here is the name of our website, all rights reserved, right? And when we click the codelogs.net, we will go to, I think the problem is the application is not running. But when you click it, it will go to the index page. And lastly, in the base HTML, here is the JavaScript that we link. Here is the CDN from Bootstrap, so that we have the framework. In the index page, we have a basic Bootstrap classes and all of that. Let me run the application so that I can show you. What we will do is we will look all the things I did in the index HTML. In the index HTML here, if we look our application, if we open our application, we run it. If we go to day 5 and we run our application, here is the index, right? Let me log off the application. When you log off the application, here is what is going to be asked. Please log in, right? And the reason this happens is because in our auth blueprint here, in our init file, in the Flask login, here we force the login view, right? We say if the person is not logged in, redirect them to auth.login. And auth.login is in the auth blueprint. It is this function that we worked on yesterday. This will be executed, right? So we will add here the Flash message danger if the user or the password is incorrect or doesn't exist. Congratulations. Here in the register function, we will say success. So when we log off, the application will redirect us to the login view. And I redesigned the login view using a Bootstrap, the templates. We use the Bootstrap classes. Here we just use the regular Bootstrap classes that makes everything centered and look nice, and we use the form here. And also I made sure the form is screen reader friendly because I use screen readers a lot. That's why I use ARIA label. And ARIA stands for Accessibility Rich Internet Applications label. So essentially what this does, it will give the form a label, and the screen reader will pick on that, and it will read it to me that people like me can understand it. And here is the secret. Here is the username. I didn't use the label, the username label, because I wanted to have the hint inside the input field like this, right? Because in my opinion, this looks better than having a username here, then the field, and a password, then the field. In my opinion, this is much better. So we didn't really change much in the login page when we are talking about the code and the programming aspect. We just changed the layout. We made everything dark mode because that is better for the eyes, at least for me. and we made the login centered, and that way, even when the person is using, in a smaller screen where a screen is very important, then we center everything and we remove the edges, when someone is using the mobile screen side. And here at the bottom we have a JavaScript code, and this is just like a way to push down, if we add a lot of content around the login in the future, or we add content above the form, this code will make sure that whenever the user is redirected to the login page, the form will be focused. The form will be, it will scroll down and it will be focused on the login form. That way, people who have poor eyesight or someone who's using a screen reader will never have to struggle finding the form. This is probably unnecessary for the vast majority of users, but for people who have limited eyesight like me, it is highly useful for these kind of tools, right? So this is the login page. The register page is the same thing. We have the same scroll down focus form situation here, and we haven't actually changed anything fundamentally. We just only changed the layout and the aesthetics of the page. We added ARIA label, right? And when we click I don't have an account, as you can see, there is a border around the register, and this is coming from this JavaScript code, and it is only meant for people who are using screen readers or using magnification, to make sure that even if we have a lot of content around or above the form, it will directly go to the form, right? So this is register. We talked about the login as well, and here is the init file. We haven't added anything much in the init file in this redesign. In the index file, we only have basic sample data. For example, let me log in first. I will show you what we have. If we have Max 123, remember me. When we log in, two things happen. Here we change from log in to log out, because now the user is logged in. So the only action that the user can do now is logged out, right? And also here added the current user. The current user is Max. So we said, Max, welcome to my Flask app, and here essentially dynamically inserted the name of the current user. Here we added some sample text from my project, and if we click continue, nothing happens. I thought I added something. Okay, let's go to index. Here is the index, right? So here is the welcome Flask app, and here is the link of the username, right? We say users, it will go to the users blueprint.user, and we will pass the current username, and it will redirect us to the user page. And if you don't remember where is this user coming from, we actually worked on yesterday. Here is the user blueprint, and here is our routes. And this function we wrote yesterday, and it will take a username, and it will check if the username is in the database, and if we find it, we will pass to the template, to the user.html template, user, right? So here is the user. In our case, in this instance, it would be Max. And let's fix the continue. Here it says a continue reading, right? So we will change the link here, and we will redirect to about page, main about. So now if we click it, nothing happens. Maybe we have to run again. We say export Flask debug 1 Flask run, and if we click it again and we click continue reading, as you can see, it goes to the about page, and here you see about and the name of our website. Here is the about route. We still are logged in, we haven't logged out because the cookie remembers us. If we go to the codelogs.com, we will go to the index. Here is the basic information about the project that we are working on. So this would be the welcome area. If we go down, this row is essentially a way to post whatever projects I'm working on that week. For example, we will, in this area, in this column, we will pull the books I'm reading from the books blueprint. And here, the second column would be the transit blueprint. We will create a transit blueprint, and we will either pull the buses or the trains that are going on in the city. We will create a list of routes, and we will essentially have our favorite stops, and we will follow them. And depending on the time of the day, we will be showing the next bus here, and we will specifically click here a view schedule to see all the the bus schedule that's coming up. And further in our series, we will integrate the bus schedule. We'll integrate it into our calendars. Here's like the sample data. We haven't actually changed it here. This area would contain the blogs, and it will also contain a way for someone to add a short blog to it. On the right side, it's added some sample data, the day I'm working on in the project, the day 5 of 100. And here is the recent posts. We don't have a recent post yet. And in this archive, I will be probably using to show the dates we work on the Flask project. And we will say Flask project instead of Flask projects archives. We will show by month. We'll show by month. January, February, and each month it will have all the days that we worked on the project. And here elsewhere, that here in this list, it would be my GitHub account, my YouTube account, and my Hacker News account, so that when someone wants to connect with me, they can find me either of these areas. Here in the profile page, we don't have much because the user table, we only have the username and email. We didn't add anything to the user table. We created the user in the models.py. Yesterday, I forgot to tell you guys that you have to add at the bottom here this login user, or the login loader. You have to add it, otherwise the application will not work at all times. So here we only have the username, email, and obviously we don't want to show password, hash, or otherwise. And created, we can show created when the user was joined. We can show it, but we only have those. And we have post a table, but this user haven't posted anything yet. Depending on how many fields that we add. This would be in the index page. It's all sample data. Obviously, we will be removing all of these. We'll be removing all of these, right? When we create an actual index, and we'll make it a lot more interesting. But I just wanted in this video to redesign the entire application so that it actually looks like the final product. It looks like an actual blog instead of something in development. So now everything is a lot clearer. Every link is situated where it's supposed to be. The login, logout works. Profile works here. About page works. Index works. And the user, if we click here, the user, it goes to the user page. We will probably improve the look of the user page, because the user page doesn't look right now because it doesn't have the thumbnail of the user either, because we haven't had that field yet. We haven't allowed the user to have their own profile, right? That would be coming in next videos, and I think that would be it. I think. What else did I do? Also in the auth blueprint here, I was having problems with the URL parse. So I changed to URL splits, and we use here in the next page token area. Actually, what this is doing is it is checking if the user had a page that they wanted to go before they hit the login page, and if there is, the program will catch that in the next token, right? And it will redirect them whenever they log in to the app. Otherwise, it will go directly to the main index. That would be it for this tutorial. I haven't actually wrote anything in this video. Just wanted to make sure that everything looks good. If you have any questions, please ask, and please follow this channel. Please subscribe. Please give this video a like, and I will see you tomorrow.